Then the next pairing is the Two of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. And the Two of Wands is inauspicious, and the Five of Pentacles is auspicious. So the Two of Wands is wisdom on the spiritual plane, and it stands for ideation, for developing important ideas or life-changing ideas. And that goes back to you having been more reactive to life rather than intentional and strategic. Concerning your affliction, I think you already turned this around. You said, okay, I want to find out the spiritual reasons for my affliction, and in this way I want to solve my affliction. That's an idea you have formulated and developed.
Mm-hmm.
The Five of Pentacles stands for adaptation, that you adapt to the new situation and you adapt to the laws that rule this new situation. We talked about this last week.
Yeah. Kind of like the new normal.
Yeah. Questions?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to understand more now.
Okay, good. So the next pair is the Sun card or the Life card and the Eight of Pentacles, which stands for qualification. And the Life card also stands for vitality and regeneration. And that's, of course, something you are missing right now. Yeah, due to your CLL, your vitality is decreased. And about qualification, we already talked about that too. You have not been qualified to deal with certain aspects in your life, for example, your son and the CLL. And this has brought about your affliction, because maybe if you have been very qualified to deal with these two things, it would never have happened. So that's something you have to work on to get qualified, both to deal with the CLL and to deal with your son. But your son will wait, as we discussed.
Yeah. I was thinking about something a lot this week, and this card makes me think of it. Mm-hmm. I was doing a lot of reading and about studies that have been done on CLL, and something that stood out to me is they found in a study that stress accelerates this disease. It's very bad for CLL, and I'm sure it's not good for any illness, but in particular, they stress the point that stress really, really accelerates this illness. And so I was thinking how that really correlates with the family stress and the illness progressing, the illness in general and the illness progressing, and that I really need to not have that stress.
Yeah, remember also we talked about the parallel between the CLL and the stress, because the CLL is something like a out of hand, inefficient immune response.
Yes.
And this relates to your son, that your psychic immune system is also damaged. Your psychic immune system is compromised and your physical immune system is compromised. You know, see the parallel on the two levels. So it's very obvious that stress is very bad for this particular sickness.
Yes, it is.
So you need to get qualified in stress removal and protection against stress, how to de-stress.
Yes.
And I think the next pair plays into this as well. We have the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Swords. And they are both auspicious. You have very many auspicious cards. Means you have many opportunities or ways of dealing with this challenge. And the title of the Eight of Wands is Goal, and the title of the Nine of Wands is Industriousness. And I remember you told me it's very good for you to have a goal, because then you have something to work towards and you're very good at pursuing goals. Is that correct?
Yes, I like goals. I need them.
I like goals. So, and if you mix a goal-oriented approach with industriousness and hard working, that will really, really put a dent into your challenge. So it's a very nice pair.
Yeah, it's certain things in my life I've been very industrious after having a goal.
So all you need to do is do what you did before, apply this also to the CLI. Okay, the next pair, the Four of Pentacles and the Spirit card. So the Four of Pentacles is auspicious, the Spirit or Fool card is inauspicious. So again, the Four of Pentacles plays very well with the previous pairing, because you work goal-oriented and you are very industrious in working towards your goal. And then you have the Four of Pentacles, which is management. So you're managing your situation. But you have an inauspicious Spirit card. And Spirit is basically spiritual energy. And the Spirit card is the second highest card after the Ace of Wands. The Spirit is also the nutrient of your soul. Yeah, the more spirit, the more spiritual you feel, and the more spiritual you are as a person. Remember, your spiritual body is malnourished, means it lacks spirit. So you already started with living a more spiritual life, studying spiritual wisdom, which already nurtures your spiritual body. And now if you start with meditation and maybe some breathing exercises, you will now invite spirit into your body-mind vehicle. And you will also increase the presence of spirit. And this is very, very important.
Yeah, I need help with that.
Think of the spirit as the root energy of all energies. Energy of the Sun card, which stands for life, regeneration, and vitality. So while the spirit is like spiritual energy is pretty abstract, when it becomes concerned with life comes the Sun card, vitality, regeneration, and things like that. And because you have not nurtured your spiritual body, you have not accumulated spirit, that was also the cause for your vitality to suffer and degenerate. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and then what the Four of Pentacles says, remember, it's management and it's practical management. It means you need to find ways of increasing your spirit. And that's practical. You need to find practical ways of increasing spirit. And the best way, the absolute best and quickest way for that is indeed meditation.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
Well, set your goal and work on it, work hard on it.
Yep, I'll start today.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, so the next pair is the Three of Wands and the Empress, or Generation. And the Three of Wands is inauspicious, and the Empress is auspicious. Now, similar to the Queens, the Empress also stands often for Bina, the third Sephira, and the Empress is associated with the number 3. That's why you could use it as a picture. If you ever wonder how Bina looks like, you can use the Empress. So the two are very closely related, and their teamwork could really help you to overcome this challenge. However, the Three of Wands is inauspicious. Three of Wands is Bina on the spiritual plane, where you have not done a lot of work yet in your life, but you're about to change that. Yeah. So the Three of Wands stands for the context, and you really need to think about the context of your situation. So what is the context of your challenge, the CLL? For example, we understand that it's related to your sun, that your psychic immune system is compromised as well as your bodily immune system. So there's a larger context to that. And there might be even a larger context where your challenge is actually something you have to deal with in your current incarnation. It's a planned ordeal.
Is it like karma, like working on karma?
Yeah, also.
So I chose this actually.
Yeah, very likely, yeah. Or the universe chose it for you, because going through this challenge will really put your soul on a higher level. And I think when you contacted me, because you felt this is really a spiritual issue, that was a huge step towards understanding the real context of this challenge.
No.
On the creative feeling level, the Generation card signifies creative imagination. creative imagination is the most powerful way to manifest and use the law of attraction. It's the higher octave of positive thinking, so to say. The woman in the picture is Venus, the goddess of love, but also the patroness of art. She's the muse. While Bina represents the suit of cups, like an ambassador, the Empress stands for the cup on the magician's table, i.e., creative imagination. The pairing of the Three of Wands and the Empress is powerful. When Kim understands the true context of her challenge, she will know what creative imaginations to generate to manifest health.
So the next pairing is the Moon card and the Hermit. So the Moon card stands for evolution, and the Attainment card stands for, the Hermit card stands for attainment. The Moon card is inauspicious, and the Hermit card is auspicious. The Moon card is a very important card related, it's very closely related to your challenge because it stands for Pisces, and Pisces rules the lymphocytic system. Pisces on the bodily level is the DNA, the bodily operating system, and challenge came about by a DNA change. Okay, and on the other side you have the Hermit, which is emphasized and which we have discussed many times, which is really a key ability that will help you to overcome your challenge. That's related to health, and it's related to fasting, and it's related to your daughter who will help you and to whom you should pay a lot of attention, what she says and what she does. So this is really a nice pair that shows what brought about your challenge and what can really help to overcome your challenge.
Yeah, they do seem to go together.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Yep.
Okay, so the next pair is the Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords. Both are auspicious. You haven't identified yet who is the Knight of Swords. It's a younger man or middle-aged man, very intelligent, very literate, very educated, and very knowledgeable. And the Two of Swords stands for principles. And remember, principles stand for doing things according to the right principles. Okay, so once you understand the principles of your situation, you basically know what you need to do. Yeah, it's like a compass. You see, okay, I need to go north, and then you go north no matter what.
Right.
And the Knight of Swords is actually a man who will help you to identify the right principles, but you haven't found out yet who that is.
Is it you?
No, I would be a King of Cups.
Okay. Maybe I haven't met him yet. Maybe it's a young doctor or something.
Yeah. Okay, and then we are through. There's of course one pairing left. That's the Significator and the Wheel of Fortune, the one on the top and one on the very bottom. But we already discussed this pair in the first video. Means you should attune yourself to the cycles, planetary cycles, cosmic cycles, your bodily cycles. Auspicious, the cycle card is auspicious. So if you do this and use Feng Shui, if you use all these things, and astrology falls under the same category, if you use these things, they can really help you to overcome your challenge.
Where on the Tree of Life is that?
Which one?
Cycles.
It's the path that emanates from Chesed, or the path that connects Chesed and Netzach. It's a very auspicious path in general, because it's Jupiter, it's associated with Jupiter, and Jupiter is the greater fortune. So like Chesed, grace, this path should bring benevolence into your life, synchronicities, good luck, meeting helpful people, things like that. And I think this happened to you many times already in the context of this challenge, right?
Yes.
Got connected to a lot of people, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Which you should really appreciate.
It has really helped.
Okay, so these pairings, they are a way to dive a bit deeper into your challenge. So you should return to these pairings regularly. A few of these dualisms and these oppositions and these complementary forces, you will understand them as you go along, as you study Ageless Wisdom, as you study the Tree of Life, as you study yourself. You will little by little understand these dualisms better and better. So I recommend that you revisit this once a month.
How long is this spread? Is this a lifelong thing, or is it?
I haven't thought about this. I would say the spread is valid until you overcame your challenge.
Okay.
But of course, in 6 months or 1 year, maybe you should get a new spread, because maybe you have already achieved a few things, situation has changed, and maybe you need a new spread. But this spread is, I think it's valid for your challenge until you overcame it.
Yeah.
Because this spread shows the principles that are involved in your challenge. And these principles, they don't go away.
Yeah, and the illness is a lifetime thing, so it probably is a very long.
Yeah, but it's related
long-lasting.
to your challenge, not other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
The context, remember context? 3 of Wands. Context is your challenge. So don't take this spread outside of your context.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any questions?
No, I think this today really helped make, like, it just put it in a kind of a linear. It was easy to understand seeing them all paired up like that.
This exercise produces additional insights. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it does. You kind of see things, like you said, paired up. You see it working together, how it affects, how the cards affect each other. It was really helpful.
Okay, good. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I have a nice evening now. You have a nice day.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
See you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.